All right, so we're back here with the third and final feature match for week 1 of Streets of New Capenna League. So we're about to watch Maxime, who is just came off a win in our most recent double feature league, which was a team league, against Jakub, who is actually a new player in our league. So this is it's his first time entering the league. So he has volunteered very kindly to stream for us tonight. We have Coleman, who's going to be taking a look at things from his point of view. So we have an opening hand here for Maxime. He has 2 swamps, a bunch of 3-color cards, but he does have a Gilded Pinions to get a treasure to get that going, and he does have one of the 3-color fixers, the common creatures. What do we got on the other side there?
So Jakub had to take an immediate mulligan, deciding on which card to put back now. It's 2 mountains and a forest. Mass Bandits, which is a exile creature for his colors. Mayhem Patrol, Wrecking Crew, and Glittermonger.
Okay.
Probably going to be the Glittermonger because of the bottom. Yep, it is.
Yeah, that one could be slow to get going. Yeah, so Maxime does need to hit lands that are not swamps. The Gilded Pinions will front him a treasure to help cast one of his cards. He does have a Shakedown Heavy, which is that big 6/4, the rare for 3 mana, which can really put the pressure on if opponent doesn't kill it or have a very fast start. All right, Mayhem Patrol, good little 2-drop here.
Follow it up over here with Chrome Cap, which is what they just drew.
So Maxime has decided not to cast his Gilded Pinions. He's instead going to cast, not cast, but exile his Rakish Revelers, which is the red, green, white Cabaretti 3-color common fixing creature this turn. So no matter what, he will be able to cast his Shakedown Heavy on turn 3, which will demand an answer, since he does have a 3rd swamp. So what's the scry decision here?
Land, it's a mountain.
Okay.
Looks like it's going to stay on the top.
Yeah, makes sense. Is Jakub holding any removal in hand right now, or?
No. Warm Welcome, Wrecking Crew, and Mass Bandits.
So the 6/4 might cause some issues here. See what he decides to do. Yeah, so if Maxime decides to attack, it's just likely going to get double blocked by those 2 creatures. So we'll see how the players go about this. Maxime's on his forest, which unlocks his now 3-color cards. He has 2 Riveteers cards in hand. The Riveteer's Charm, and then the Crew Captain, which is the 4/2 with haste, which is indestructible on his first attack. I could see him just casting the Crew Captain. It's get a nice little attack in. And it doesn't trade for the Mayhem Patrol on later turns when it attacks. So, yeah. So based on what you were saying, it seems like Jakub's just going to flash in his 1/1 with the Warm Welcome here.
Yeah. We'll see if they double block.
Yeah, I mean, Maxime is happy either way. Like, either he trades his 3-drop for 2 cards, or he gets to draw a card. So, or the opponent takes 6. Like, all of these outcomes are pretty good. Yeah, this Shakedown Heavy. This card always gets 2 cards, I think, unless opponent removes it immediately. No matter how you swing it, like it's gonna 2-for-1 the opponent or more.
It's a Warm Welcome.
Yeah.
No cards to choose from. So
No creatures. That is not what Jakub wants to see.
Drew a Glittermonger, which is his only play.
I mean, the Glittermonger does get him to his Mass Bandits a little quicker. Like, if he draws an untapped land next turn, he can cast his 5/5. No, Maxime does have a Riveteer's Charm, which makes opponents sacrifice their most expensive creature. So he does have a nice answer to that potential 5/5 coming down soon. Yeah, 4-2 can attack pretty freely here. I'm guessing Jakub does need the Glittermonger, so he's not going to trade it off here. And Maxime's actually, instead of casting... I guess he could still cast his 3-drop now if he chooses. But he decides to just get the Glittermonger off the board, seeing that Jakub is potentially stuck on colors. And just cast the Gilded Pinions. He could have played the Midnight Assassin this turn, the 3-mana 1/2 Death Touch.
The 5th land, so now has 2 5 drops as options.
Okay. Yeah, so Maxime can untap and kill one of them, but he can also just give his 4/2 flying. Jakub cannot take 4 in the air very many times. All right, so he does have the reach creature here, so that gets around the flying, but it does not get around the potential making him sacrifice it. He could also just play his Freelance Muscle, which is that 4/4 Rhino that gets pumped equal to your highest power among other creatures whenever it attacks or blocks. So he's deciding between playing his 5-drop or just getting rid of the Wrecking Crew right now, and he's deciding that he's going to play his 5-drop, which can get pumped by +3/+3 next turn. And he can put the Pinions on his third color. Okay, so now he can cast his 5/5. So now he's going to have 2 big roadblocks. But the Gilded Pinions can bring the Freelance Muscle into the air for a lot of damage, which I assume is what's going to occur here. Yeah, so the Riveteer's Charm can get rid of the Masked Bandits if he chooses to do so. He might just equip and then just play a Death Touch flyer, which is also pretty reasonable on this board. So he's going to attack here. He's basically tempting the opponent to double block and get 2 for 1 if they do. So let's see if Jakub falls in. Jakub, again, he's empty-handed, so he's at the mercy at the top of his deck. He can't take 8, and he can't get blown out either. So blocking with the 1/1 is what he decided could be the safest route. Okay, so he's going to go for this route, which is not going to work out. Game. Well, I mean, Maxime has 5 lands and 2 treasures, so stands to reason he had something to win combat here. But there's not much Jakub could have done, right? He could chump block and then just hope to draw something better. Can't take 8, so he was forced into a corner there. He said, just going to put both bodies in front if he has something. He has something. So
you're ready to rumble. I think the best bet would probably just get the Rhino now.
Oh yeah, well it's a sorcery, so it just gets Rhino off the board. It's not going to be attacking for. It's not going to be attacking for big, huge damages anymore. So now the problem is that he has 5 power flying, and he doesn't even have to give the crew captain flying, but he might as well. And then he's just going to cast a 5/3 here that comes with a 1/1. So Jakub needs something that provides multiple answers right now, essentially.
A Civic Gardener.
That is not the answer. This is not lethal, but it is now with he's drawn a Girder Goons, which is the 4/4 that you can blitz out to make a 2/2 when it dies. So that's just gonna end things here because he has 6 flying plus 2 4 power, so he's gonna get in for exactly 7 damage here. We saw in our feature match 1 that also a top deck Girder Goons also won a game in a similar fashion. All right, so Maxime takes game 1. We'll go into sideboarding now, see what Maxime chooses to do, if anything. Again, week 1, the decks are, stretched for playables, so, maybe there's like a disenchant or a plummet effect in the sideboard, but for the most part, you don't see too much sideboarding.
Jakub went straight to game 2.
All right, so Jakub did not see anything that made him want anything from sideboard. Maxime's taking a look. he's a pretty methodical player, so he's not going to miss too much. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, I'll say. He does proceed without sideboarding, which again in week 1, even in week 2, is pretty common to just not sideboard a lot of the time. In later weeks, when you have a lot more options, then it becomes more important. In the early weeks,
this looks like a
you're
much
just playing
better
all of the
thing.
things you want, and most of the things you don't want are in the sideboard.
So on the play, got a much better hand than what they kept the last game. They have a Halo Scarab into Rafine's Silencer, and then holding a Mass Bandit and a Riveteer's Requisition.
Right.
Looking for a mountain, no mountain, 2 more forests in hand.
Yeah. Maxime's has got all of his colors here to start. Well, his base colors, which are green, black, and red. He seems to just splashing the white. So he has the Riveteer's Decoy. He has a couple removals in hand, including the rare Unleash the Inferno, which is a 3-color card. It deals 7 damage to a creature, a planeswalker, and then destroys an artifact or enchantment with mana cost less than or equal to the damage dealt, I believe. The
So let's look
excess damage. All right, for Fiend
Rafine's
Silencer.
Silencer to get rid of some of these lands, I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Yeah, so he can. He has a Bouncer's Beatdown in hand if he wants. He could cleanly answer the Silencer, it exiles it. Or he could just attack his Riveter's Decoy and just take the trade now before Rafine Silencer can potentially pick off 2 small creatures. He doesn't have any other small creatures in hand, though, Maxime. He has a couple of 5-drops. He has Join the Maestros, which is the casualty spell that makes 2 4/3s. Well, if you sacrifice casualty 2. And he also has the Angel of Suffering, this black mythic angel, where you mill equal to twice the damage you would take rather than take damage. So he's left up his Bouncer's Beatdown. He's decided not to attack and trade with the Silencer. So we'll see how the next turn proceeds. I guess Jakub is still looking for his mountain.
No mountain, drew a swamp.
Okay. So he got his 2 and 3 drop, but if he doesn't get his mountain, it might be a bit of a stumbling block here in the early middle turns.
He's trying to decide if he wants to exile his Mass Bandits as a fixer so that he can play the Riveteer's Requisitioner.
Well, I figured that's probably what he would want to do if he has no other play. See what he decides to do. Like I mentioned, Maxime, his only potential play is the Bouncer's Beatdown, which, if something is played that he believes demands that answer, he'll use it, but otherwise, not super likely to use it. Notably, it does cost 2 less mana if it targets a black creature, so he can get it for cheap later for just 1 mana. Yeah, so as you were speculating, he's exiling his Mass Bandits and casting his red card. Yeah. So let's see if Maxime decides that one of these creatures are worthy of a beatdown. He might just knock the Requisitioner to deny the treasure, or just the Silencer because it's annoying. Either one. Yeah, he's deciding to kill the Requisitioner, so to deny the treasure. We saw that he denied the treasure last game as well by killing the Glittermonger, and that did create an obstacle for Jakub. So he also wanted to use his mana. And Maxime he's left up his 7 damage spell now, so if something big comes down, he can deal with that pretty handily. And the next turn, he can start casting his 5-drops.
The only play here is Wrecking Crew.
Okay, so he's attacking with the Scarab. Okay, playing a 4/5 is good. Likely to get burned for 7 damage here, yeah. And now he can actually kill the Halo Scarab too. So he gets a nice little 2-for-1 there. Very, very good card. That's what you want. That's what you want your rares to do. Just pay 4 mana instant speed to kill two opponents' creatures. Seems excellent.
Yeah, seems great.
So Maxime has a couple choices here. He could just play his Mythic Angel, or he could potentially cast Join the Maestro, sacking the 3/1 to make 2 4/3s, but he's just going for the Angel here. If opponent doesn't have an answer, it will kill them very quickly at 5 damage a turn.
So in hand is a Forest and a Gilded Pinions.
Okay, so he can give something flying. I assume he's just going to cast his Bandits here. The Bandits they can't really race the Angel because the Angel, protects your life total with the damage prevention. But he could try and threaten to block it in future turns with the Pinions.
So it looks like we've done. So card left in hand is the Gilded Pinions, and very much on the defensive right now.
Yeah, he's probably going to need to try and trade with the Angel with the Pinions, or threaten to trade. So take 5 here. So Maxime has a prize fight and a Strangle in hand, neither of which kill the Masked Bandits. Then he has a Join the Maestros. So he's just going to cast, he's just going to make 2 4/3s here and get rid of his 3/1 that was being stonewalled by the Silencer since turn 3. So upgrading his 3/1 into a 4/3 here, which can...
Pretty good draw, not able to cast yet, but he's drawn a Dust Mangler.
Okay, so yeah, the big 7 drop that comes in and makes your opponent very miserable. So once he gets, with the Gilded Pinions, he'll be able to cast it next turn. He also has Halo Scarab to give him another treasure as well. Yeah, so he could just equip here and then threaten to block, basically. Yeah, so he gets to attack as it has Vigilance and leave it back to block the Angel. So pretty good. Like I said, Maxime has 2 removals, but neither of them kill the Masked Bandits. He might... Okay, so he mills 10 cards here. So he might just prize fight with one of the Ogres and strangle the 5/5 to get it off the board, but that doesn't seem favorable. It's like he's spending 3 cards to kill one. So, yeah, so he's just throwing everything there. If Jakub chooses to block the 4/3, he's going to get his 5/5 strangled post combat. Maxime's also fine with just trading the Angel here. Yeah, so Jakub chooses to not trade off his 5/5 and will be strangled in the second main phase. Maxime just has 2 lands and a prize fight as his other cards in hand, so nothing of impact at this time. Yeah. So this 5/3 is looking pretty good here.
Forest, probably going to hold that in hand to discard for the Dust Mangler, but it's not.
Okay. Yeah, so the Dust Mangler here is not going to it's not going to solve the problem of the Angel. If he plays his land, he would then have to sack something else. He could end up getting his the Pinions on the Dust Mangler, but it would cost him his 1/1 or 4 life, and I'm sure he's not going to pay 4 life. So he has a decision to make here of if he wants to give himself the option of equipping the Dust Mangler or just casting it and taking another 5. Okay, so he has decided to play the land, which means that he's going to equip the Dust Mangler with the 2 treasures left over. Yeah. So he's sacking the silencer. Unfortunately, it's not killing anything, but the Dust Mangler will get rid of this 4/3 and the swamp that Maxime is holding in hand. And now it will be equipped, so this will be a roadblock here. So let's see what Maxime draws. He's drawn the Midnight Assassin, which is a Death Touch flying. He's going to play his Death Touch Flyer, and I'm guessing he's thinking about prize fighting it just to get the Dust Mangler off the board. Yeah. So he drew the Death Toucher, and now he's fighting it against the Dust Mangler. So he's putting Jakub to 1, so he needs a removal. I mean, if you draw any creature can block it if you can cast the creature.
Paragon of Modernity. So
okay, that actually trades with the Angel because he can pump it to be a 3/3. So Maxime's draw is about to play it, which is the Mr. Orfeo. It doubles the power of the Angel, which doesn't change the blocking situation. So he's just choosing not to attack. He's choosing to present lethal next turn with 2 lethal attackers.
Top deck a body dropper, but
he cannot
doesn't have the mountain
body dropper. He used the treasures to equip to the Dust Mangler, so it looks like this one's going to end here. So he attacks both and doubles the power of the boulder. And Jakub cannot cast his lone card in hand. Yeah. So Maxime wins 2-0 in our final feature match of the day. So thank you to both players. And we'll see everyone back next week.